This is video number 4 for sections 7.1 and 7.2, applications in standard form. Let's go ahead and look at a modeling problem where standard form is used. The idea behind this problem is somebody's already done a lot of the work for us. There was a scattergram, somebody drew it, they realized that a quadratic model would be appropriate. They did the work to find the model and put it in standard form. You'll notice this even in the homework. There'll be a few scattergram problems, but they're going to go ahead and tell you the equation to save you the trouble from finding it. So we'll just concentrate on using here. Let's make sure we understand the variables. Here's the let statement. Let P of T be the profit of a company in millions of dollars at time T years since 2010. So P is the money they're making in millions. T is how many years it's been since 2010. And again, we have the model given to us already. First question. How much profit did the company have in 2012? Pretty straightforward. 2012 is 2 years since 2010, and so essentially all they're asking me to do is to calculate P of 2. In other words, just replace all the T's with a 2. And then just grab your calculator and type all that in. What you should end up with is 6.78. Let's make sure we're answering the question. So we were supposed to give an amount of money. How much profit? Well, please don't say $6.78. I got to go back to the let statement and remind myself that that in fact means $6.78 million worth of profit. Let's take a look at the next part. What is the real-life meaning of the c in your model? We're in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So the c would be this 9.72 sitting there at the end. Let's see, if I write that as an ordered pair, that would be 0, 9.72. I know that because the c is the y-intercept. It always goes with an x value of 0. Let's see, in this case, the x is really a t, and that represents years since 2010. So 0 years means I'm in 2010. The y number, or the p number in this problem, represents the profit, the money. So what are we saying? We're saying in 2010, this company made $9.72 million. Okay, take a look at letter C. How can we tell from the equation that there is one point where the company makes its minimum profit? In other words, its lowest profit. Think about the graph of this equation. It would be a parabola, and the profit is the y value in this particular problem. So essentially you're being asked here, how do you know that there's a lowest spot on this graph, a minimum profit? Well, the graph's a parabola. What do I know about this particular parabola? If I look very, very carefully at the front here, I can tell that the A is positive, and if the A is positive, then the graph opens up. And if the graph opens up, then I will for sure have a lowest spot on this graph. All parabolas that open up have a lowest spot. So I know from looking at the equation that there will be a minimum profit. What if they had asked me, is there a maximum profit? Well, look at this thing. Those arrows mean that the graph continues to rise. So I don't have a highest number here to talk about, but I do definitely have a lowest number. The next part goes on to say, let's go ahead and try to determine when that happened. So in what year did that minimum profit take place? Well, just a comment first. You need to know that for the rest of the chapter, when you see the word minimum or maximum or highest or lowest or most or least, any kind of word, greatest, smallest, those are all code words for find the vertex. Because if you're dealing with a quadratic function, the only way that you have a highest or lowest spot is right here at the vertex. This one we already figured out has a lowest spot. If you had a different parabola that opened down, of course those have highest spots. When they ask you about minimum or maximum, they are always asking you to calculate the vertex. One of the coordinates of the vertex is going to answer your question. That's true in this problem for both parts D and E. Well, let's see, which part of the vertex would answer question D? Well, they're asking me about a year. That's a when question. That's a T question. If you go back up to the let statement, T is the year information. That's our X in this problem. So therefore, it would be the X part of the vertex, in other words, the H, that answers this question. All you have to do to answer question D is find H. How do you find H when you're in standard form? We only have one way, and it's that little formula we learned. H equals negative b over 2a. You just have to plug into that. Again, you can refer back to the original quadratic function. Use the slots. I've got a negative sign. I've got a slot for b. It's negative 1.65. And then 2 times that 0.09. Be careful when you're typing this into your calculator. It's easy to mess this up if you don't simplify it a little bit first. So I would very much recommend that you simplify the top and then simplify the bottom. In other words, do that little multiplication problem. It comes out to be 0.18, and then do the division. I got about 9.17 off the calculator. We generally round our year information to the nearest whole number. That would be 9. Then I have to think about the let statement. Let's see, T stands for number of years since 2010, if you check the let statement. So I believe our final answer to part D is the year 2019. We're saying in that year, this company is going to hit rock bottom. They're going to hit their lowest profit. Take a look now at part E. Part E is saying, well, let's go ahead and figure out how much money we're talking about then. We know that in 2019, that's the lowest profit they're going to get. Well, how much money is that? Of course, this is also a vertex situation, and this time we need the k, because the k is the y coordinate, and in this problem the y numbers are the money numbers, the profit numbers. So I just need to find k. Now read the fine print here. This is important for the homework as well. We rounded that h to the nearest whole number when we gave our answer here, but the problem is I need to use the h in order to find the k, and so if I use 9, I'll be pretty far off as far as the k goes, and so the instructions say, listen, please use h rounded to 2 decimal places in order to find k, and I believe you'll see similar instructions in my math lab. How do I find the k again? Well, remember, the h is just an x coordinate. I just need to take that value of x, stick it into the original function, and solve for y. In this case, that would be sticking 9.17 in for t and figuring out the profit. I just need to calculate p of 9.17. What is the profit for that particular value of t? So I replace all my t's with 9.17, and then I just need to go to the calculator, and I got about 2.16 for that. Again, let's make sure we're answering the question. We were supposed to be talking about a specific amount of money, the lowest profit that this company ever makes. We know it occurred in 2019, and we're now saying that that amount of money is $2.16 million. Remember, when they are using words like minimum and maximum and other similar words, you know you're just being asked to find the vertex. You just have to decide which half of the vertex answers the specific question you are being asked.